If you are a Palestinian refugee, absolutely, you will live in a refugee camp and waiting the aid that provided by the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian refugees. You will wait around 90 days to get your food package, which is required that you should have a refugee supply card before. Maybe you live in one of the refugee camps in Palestine, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, or any other countries. The places could be different, but definitely all the Palestinian refugees, they are live under the same condition and situation. Now, we are standing in front of one of the UNRWA centers in the Gaza Strip, which is located in the eastern part of Gaza. In the center, the UNRWA provides food packages for the residents who live here in the area. And they coming here and waiting around 10 minutes to get their food packages. Now we are at the entry of beach camp for refugees, which is considered as the most crowded here in the area. The beach camp, also known locally as a shelter. After Nakba, a shelter accommodated around 23,000 refugees who fled from their cities and villages. They fled from Ramla, Aqir, Yora, Hamama, and other areas of Palestine. Now, the beach here is home to more than 100,000 of people who reside in this area, which is only 0.5 square kilometers. The people here also, they work as the fishermen. They enter the sea all the time. But after the Israeli siege, they stopped to do that. Now all the people here, they live under the poverty, and the unemployment is increased day after day. For 10 years ago, after the Palestinian and Hamas political division, which is affected against their life here on the Gaza as people. Now we are entering the streets of the beach camp, which is very often very narrow, and which is don't allow the two guys to work together inside it. The beach also known as the most poor, the poorest area in the Gaza Strip. All the people here without work, without job, without do anything that can help them to live in stability level. Also, the population here would like to leave Gaza and to have another chance and another life in another area. Most of the educated guys here would like our plane to migrate and leave Gaza and go to other countries, which allow them to have another life or future. So there is no future vision for the people here, for the population. One, Ahmed Yassin, the founder of Hamas, is the most famous character who lived in this area. He and his family fled from their village, which is called Yora. He lived here several years before found Hamas movement. And also here, Ismail Haniyeh, the official head of Hamas, lived inside the beach. Despite the Israeli jets, destroyed his house in the latest war 2014. Also, Said Siam, the leader of Hamas, who created the force security, he lived in this camp, but he died by the Israelis in 2008. Politically, the Palestinian factions are trying to do something for the peace, but actually all of the Palestinian governments, even the Palestinian Authority, and also Hamas, they failed to improve the situation in the peace. The streets are very narrow, and there is the beach lake from the services like electricity, municipality. All of these services is elect and didn't do it inside the camp. Most of the people here would like to have a new chance and a new life, and to find a solution about the problems that they face. The guys and the men stay at homes without works, and they don't have any chance to change their lives. Also, the men here work as a fisherman and inside the sea, but now they cannot do that because the limit of the sea, the limit that imposed by the Israelis on the sea, which is now just only 6 miles that they can fishing inside the sea. The famous families here, which is called Bakr, Abriya, Ala, Haniya, Bahar, Yasin. All of them learn their people or their sons that they should have work inside the sea, despite the limit of Israelis imposed there. After the protests launched on the border after the United States President Donald Trump, the people here or the youth here who don't have a vision about their future, they went to the border. It's important to protect against the decision of Trump. Firstly, but later they find the borders as a way that they can tell their opinions about their situation, and they demand to change the situation in Gaza. The famous one who's called Ibrahim Abu Thuraya, he's a disabled Palestinian activist. He lives inside this camp. He was the poorest guy in the Gaza Strip, and now he's dead by the Israelis who gunfire or shoot him on the border. Ibrahim has had a dream, like any youth or any adult in the Gaza. He dreams that if he own a home and get married, he lost his legs by the Israelis strike, like in the latest war. Now Ibrahim is dead, and Ibrahim is one of the youth or adults who go to the border not to have a political solution, but just to shout and to tell the world that they don't have any future or any life instability like the other guys around the world. Most of the people on the border now they are disabled. Maybe they disabled or the most of the they are the poor. They are from the poor level people inside the beach. Hamas is right. Hamas tries to do or tries to have a solution. And so Hamas and Fatah announced several times that they will end their political division and have another chance, and maybe change the situation here in Gaza Strip. When we talk about the camp, we talk about the Nakba or the Palestinian catastrophe in 1948, because the camp is the best view or image about the catastrophe for Palestinians people. In the camp also you can see the small houses, the narrow streets, and also unemployed. Due to the lack of electricity, there is several families were dead by they fired the candle during the electricity cut. We remember Abu Nada family who lost all the members family who were 4 members are they dead and killed by the candle when they trying to fire it and to have some light inside their house. Also, there is several suicide attempts among the youth in the camps because they don't have any vision to continue their lives or to continue their dreams and visions. In 1993, which is also agreement between Yasser Arafat and Rabbi, in which is called that there will be a Palestinian state, the Palestinian, and optimize that maybe they will have a recognized in the world. But after that, the situation changed because as the Palestinians said, as the Palestinians said, Israel don't want doesn't try to recognize about the Palestinians several conflicts between Israel and between the Palestinians. Dead in the Gaza Strip in totally, but the residents and the camps residents they are affected badly all the times because the Israel push push the residents to refugee to migrate internal migrant during the war so. Now we are working in one of the camp Allah and going to the center street. Most of the youth who after the youth they work in the streets. Maybe they sell cigarette or some sandwich for the people. The economic situation affected against the youth and against the unemployed. Also, the camp is lack for the basic services is inside. Right now, we walk in the beach and there is no electricity. And when we ask the people here, they told us there is no water here for 4 days. 4 days, and they demand the municipality to salute or to have a solution about how they continue the problem. Most of people here plan to leave the camp and to leave the Gaza Strip, and maybe some of them, they pay money for the Egyptian sides to let them cross the Rafah border and have a chance to travel maybe Turkey or Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, or any other European countries, which is they could be migration there and be refugees. They feel because they are refugees, and they know what the refugee means, that they would like to live in any another country. They are refugee here, and maybe they would be could be a refugee in another country, but with a little bit of security or of a security, and maybe they will have works or jobs and do what they want. Also, the women in the camps and in the Gaza Strip, they are the victims of the political situation, because the women, because the high rates of the kills against the women, and they victim from the Israelis when they killed them or when they targeted them, and also the victims when the criminal increased against them. Lately, we have a high rate of criminal against the women, and we can find the men who killed their wives or their daughters or their sisters under ideas, or maybe under the pressure that they live due to the political situation. Hamas, Fatah, Israel, and all the governments who control Gaza Strip, they didn't change anything from the camps in the camp. And they just want to control and maybe to collect the money or taxes from the people, or to can pay, especially Hamas lately, to can pay the salaries for their employees in the Gaza Strip. The children here, when we see the children and when we look at their eyes, we feel that the future is unknown and animal. Most of the children, and they live under the poverty. We talk about 91% of the poverty in Gaza Strip, and 81, and they live under the poverty, and they live by they live by the relief funds. So we. So they can, which is crowded by the youth, by the children, and by the women, and with lack of the all services. Then we are talking about the hard situation and terrible situation in the camp. When we talk about the refugee camp, we talk about all refugee camps around the world, even in Palestine, in Syria, in Iraq, in Jordan, and in Lebanon. And especially in Lebanon, the Palestinians there, they are suffering all the time. So we are now in the beach refugee camp. Three governments who control Gaza Strip: Israel, Palestinian Authority, and Hamas. So all of them can control the beach camp or the Gaza Strip, but the camp is considered unchanged during the leg service from all the government who control Gaza. The question is, will the Palestinian official be aware? Sana Kamal Shenikhwa, the beach refugee camp.